Kunal, we are ready to shoot. Kunal, come, no?
Coming, yeah. This is damn interesting, man. I haven't seen this in a long time.
Kunal, the crew is waiting now. Kunal!
What, yaar?
Kunal, it's about Amar Chitra Katha only.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, chalo, let's go. Hello and welcome to a century of stories brought to you by IDFC FIRST Bank. Always you first. I'm your host Kunal and today I'll share with you the story of Amar Chitra Katha, the comics that brought us India's own stories. Back in the 1960s, it was the silver age of American comics. Characters like Flash, Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were very popular. The irony is that while India consumed these foreign titles eagerly, we didn't have any of our own stories. Tired of selling imported books by English writers, G.K. Anantram, a Bangalore book salesman, pestered his boss at India Book House. He insisted that we needed to publish our own stories. Stories that resonated with our people. Anantram's boss agreed and sanctioned some funds for this regional language project. And so, in 1965, Amar Chitra Katha was created, so named by Anantram himself. Now, the obvious question facing them was, how do we position it? Stories of local culture, royal Indian dynasties, folk fables, many ideas abound. They began with translating 10 English classics to Kannada. Stories like Pinocchio, Alice in Wonderland, and Sleeping Beauty soon became a huge commercial success. This early success convinced India Book House to take their venture forward. And to reach out to more children across India, they started producing Indian stories in English. But they needed a visionary to head this mission. And they found a man in Anant Pai who was working as an executive at Indrajal Comics, which brought out popular comic book series like Mandarake and The Phantom. Pai's inspiration to create children's comics books based on India's history and culture sparked when he sadly noticed that participants on a quiz show knew more about Greek mythology than Indian mythology. Anant Pai and India Book House's missions aligned, and in 1967, Anant Pai quit his job and joined IBH to drive the common mission called Amar Chitra Katha, dedicated to connecting Indian school kids to their roots. Pai himself scripted and edited the first story in 1970, Krishna from the Bhagavad Puran. Amar Chitra Katha became so popular that children were asking for a weekly edition. To meet that soaring demand, in November 1980, Anant Pai and his team started a new weekly children's magazine, the legendary Tinkle. Unlike Amar Chitra Katha, Tinkle was all about learning through fun. It contained puzzles, contests, games, and everybody's favorite Tinkle tunes. This made Pai a much-loved figure amongst his readers, earning him the moniker Uncle Pai. But behind every success story, there is turmoil. And for Amar Chitra Katha, tragedy struck in August 1994 when their Mumbai office caught fire with invaluable scripts and over 200 pages of artwork destroyed. And to make matters worse, they lost their repository of 3,000 prints. But this setback did not deter this team of storytellers. Uncle Pai set a goal of going to print in 20 days after the fire, and his team stepped up in a big way. Everyone was back at work the next day, and within 19 days, they had all 32 pages of Tinkle ready again. And as for the repository of 3,000 prints that had been wiped out by the fire, the fans stepped in and sent their own copies of the comics. The Tinkle mailboxes were flooded with all the lost copies in no time. Now, both Amar Chitra Katha and Tinkle have been a huge hit amongst Indian children for decades. But what's even more remarkable is how deeply ingrained these comic books are in our collective memory. Characters like Tantri the Mantri or Kalia the Crow, Supandi or Shikari Shambhu are still a vivid part of our childhood, especially mine. And each comic book wasn't read by just one child. They were passed on to siblings, exchanged with friends and cousins, and sometimes even hardbound and preserved for the next generation. Even Bhallal Dev from the Bahubali movie, Rana Daggubatti, was an ardent reader of the Amar Chitra Katha comics. Now, as an actor producer, he has been associated with Amar Chitra Katha since 2019. Rana launched a learning center named ACK Alive in Hyderabad, became an investor in Amar Chitra Katha, and has plans to bring Amar Chitra Katha stories like Hiranyakashap to the silver screen soon. Despite competition today from 24-hour digital content platforms, video games and international comics, Amar Chitra Katha still sells over 15 lakh copies every year. You tell me, what are your comic book memories? If you have a favorite comic that you think I should read, tell me in the comments below. You've been watching Century of Stories, brought to you by IDFC FIRST Bank, always you first. I'm Kunal, and next week, I'll bring you another captivating story. See you next time. Time for today's safe banking tip. You may get links to pay fake e-challans via SMS or email, urging immediate action and threatening penalties and legal consequences. If proper details are not mentioned, it may be a fake. Do not click on the link. You could lose money or worse, compromise the safety of your information. Always verify e-challans on official and secured websites and only make payments there.
IVM